Welcome back to the deep end. We've got another special guest in the building today. Our first non-musical guest, actually, so it's a special occasion. Paco Geedup. How you doing, bro?
Good, man. Good.
What's been going on lately? Seems like everything's taken off with the brand. Everything's busy.
Insanely busy, man. We're working back to back. We're doing releases every two to four weeks. Some have just come through. Some are one, some are two. But yeah, it's just full focus on content, full focus on on keeping these collections coming.
Yeah, the summer one and summer two seem to go really well, you know, selling out really quick. And another thing that I noticed about it, the video trailers, bro. Not many people do video trailers nowadays, but you know, I think you definitely set the bar with a boat and lobster and raw sashimi, tuna everywhere.
Yeah.
How's that to film?
Mate, I think that's the most enjoyable part of it. Like, I love the whole design process, which is huge for me. But creating the content as well is such a big part of the brand for us, and it's fun. Do you know what I mean? You know, we look at the content we do as almost like you said, little trailers, and putting that together and see it come to life it's a huge part, and it's fucking fun to do as well, man. Mm. It's just hard to keep a cap on it and not turn it into a party. Yeah. They usually turn into a party.
Yeah, it looked like it got that way towards the end.
Oh yeah, it did. Benny was diving off the boat, backflipping. I think he had his pants off at one stage. Yeah. And
the lobster was in the marketing budget, that you had a little kind of like separate section for that, and the seafood?
There wasn't too much of a budget. I usually blow the budgets out. TK's always trying to tell me to bring that down a bit, but yeah, I think it was about $1,000 on seafood, man. Yeah. Some of it went overboard. I think most of it went overboard. I think we had to keep reshooting one part because the drone wasn't working or wasn't getting the right angle. So every time I threw a half a lobster off, I was like, fuck, that's $300. It's $300. It's $300. But we got the shot.
Yeah, we'll get props next time.
Yeah.
It feels like, you know, crazy, you know, doing the trailers and stuff has become almost a very integral part of the brand for you guys. So when was the first idea to integrate, you know, those kind of video trailers like you were saying before?
Well, Crazy has been buying the brand for way back then, do you know what I mean? And when he started getting so involved in the music videos, I just thought it had to come part and parcel with us, do you know what I mean? We'd already had the friendship and the relationship going there. We sat down one day and I don't want to talk badly about other content, but that whole commercial, product-focused content just wasn't for us. And I always loved storytelling or a bit of narrative to content. And that kind of comes from all the old 90s hip-hop videos and shit like that, do you know what I mean? For me anyway. But then I came across Greg Una, the jeweler, and I've just seen he just always had these cinematic 20-second, 30-second clips of it, kind of not doing much, but just capturing the lifestyle of him as a jeweler. I was like, you know, I kind of want to imitate that, replicate that in a way, and that's how that's kind of come about. Creasy does it really well as well, and we just gel. As soon as I kind of have a narrative or a design, he's like, yeah, I can do that. So I don't even really have to direct him anymore. We just kind of fuck around and get it done, and he just captures all the right angles. And
just fuck around and something good eventually happens.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much, like we have pretty much no creative direction until an hour out. Like I remember for the puffer jackets, I dragged everyone out of bed at like 3 a.m. because I wanted to shoot night time, but I wanted the streets to be empty as well. So I was like, we can't shoot night time, there's gonna be too many cars. So we got down near the Harbour Bridge there, 3:30 in the morning. He's like, what are you gonna do? I was like, fuck, I don't know yet, man. But these jackets, the injection was called the Most Wanted. There was the 2 puffer jackets. And Crazy's like, I've got a strobe light here. Maybe whack it in the back. And that was imitating the police and shit like that. I was like, you know what? Let's do that. Let's throw a cop siren over the top. No music over it. So it's just like urban sounds. Got the train tracks and that's all it was. It's just we kind of imitated being pulled over. And but going back to that, absolutely no creative direction until like an hour out, and it kind of just works with me and Crazy, man. We kind of make it happen.
Also in your summer collection, I saw one of the things you had was a basketball jersey, and it was kind of Lakers inspired with the yellow and the purple.
Yeah.
So I guess when we think about, you know, fashion and music and sports in the States, they're so intertwined, almost to a point where you can't really separate them, you know what I mean?
Yep.
In Australia, we haven't really had that. Do you think we're going to have that to that level that it does in the States?
I think it's going that way for sure. You know, NRL being our biggest sport here in Australia. Well, we'll talk for New South Wales, I guess, because it's not as big Australia-wide. But yeah, I think it'd definitely go there, bro. And I think it needs to, you know, just for the growth of certain brands. I think it'll probably go with music artists well before it go with sports. We're already in kind of talks with Ziggy from the area with a proper brand alignment deal over 24 months. Won't talk about the artists just yet, but it's a paid deal, and that'll come with a collaboration and stuff like that. 2 yearly collaborations, but a full endorsement pack, bro. So I think it'll probably happen with music artists well before sports.
Yeah, it's interesting just because I saw, after the NRL Grand Final, Josh Adokar gave the kind of, a hand shout out to Hooligan Hefs, and then obviously I saw him on the Geedup story, kind of in the office and stuff like that. So, it's just interesting that, we're kind of getting these younger NRL players now getting involved with the rap side of things, which I don't think happened that much in the past.
Well, I think as well, bro, like, relationships between my understanding is that a lot of the footy players now are from the West, you know what I mean? And the scene is from the West now. We're from the West. So the relationships, I guess, were cultivated well before anyone was in footy, anyone was in music, or I was in fashion. We all kind of knew of each other or of the names well before. So now that everyone's kind of making their name in their own scene, it seems only right to us all to come together and work together. And I think that's a powerhouse when we do.
We'll be seeing a kind of Geedup NRL jersey, Josh Adokar collaboration or anything like that?
I don't know about that, bro. Yeah, maybe moving forward. Like, there's so many. I rub shoulders with like plenty of the boys and plenty of the boys that play footy and stuff like that. But yeah, I guess we haven't really aligned the brand, in the public eye with sports figures yet. But that's not to say we won't.
I saw Joey Johns was wearing someone's merch the other day, some rock band. Could Joey Johns and Geedup could happen?
It could work, bro. You know what I mean? It's completely out of left field. Completely out of left field. Yeah. You know what? Like,
he likes to party.
I love his partying.
Joey Johns likes to party.
Yeah, we've got something in common there. You know what I mean? Maybe we can sit down and talk about that and come together with the collaboration.
Yeah. We could get the Tula brothers on, Matthew as well. Could be, could be crazy. You, Bo. Joey and Matthew as well. Crazy.
Yeah.
And I guess most people know Geedup from, the current kind of version or the current iteration of it. But, you guys have been doing it for, a decade now.
10 years, yeah. It's a brick.
It's been a brand for a long, long time. So I guess it might be good for fans and for the Geedup family to kind of understand where the brand actually started from and where it actually came from.
Man, it started from my bedroom at my mum's place. But the biggest, well, not even misconception, sorry, it's just, it was never a brand. Bo and I, my little brother, never had the idea of starting a fashion label. Bo had the idea from another friend of his when he was younger, to sell dead stock basketball jerseys and snapbacks because it was all the craze. Remember that was all the craze? Remember Hat Kingdom? You remember that shop, Hat Kingdom?
You only if you know your fitted size.
Yeah. So I shot Bo some money. I can't remember how much it was. And he saw some what we thought to be dead stock basketball jerseys and snapbacks. And we all know anything that comes out of China is not dead stock, man. It was fake. We didn't know it was fake. But we ended up having New Era, and I think it was Adidas hit us with a cease and desist. Found out they sent a lawyer to Bo's place and knocked on his door and went right on with it. Bo was panicked a bit. But they kind of just let it go. So we're like, oh, we can't sell any of this merch anymore. What are we going to do? So that's when the idea was to get into T-shirts or just clothing of the type. And I'd just finished my graphic design course. I got my advanced diploma in graphic design. It was just my first office job. Didn't last too long there. But I was designing from the desk. And we designed it was the Easy E, Eternal E jumper. It was just a photo of Easy, and I just superimposed the Geedup logo on Easy's shirt. And then that was just an image of Easy straight to the front of this grey crew neck. Hadn't even had the product produced. It was just this mock-up. And I put it on the Facebook page and just said there was only 10 available, pre-order only, I went to lunch, and I came back from lunch and there was 10 sold, so I was like, $900. I sold them for $90. I was like, fuck, I don't know anything about screen print. I don't know anything how to even get this image to the jumper. Shit, where do you even get Blake jumpers from? Jumped through some hurdles to get that done, posted them out, and they all were returned because at the first wash, it all just came off. So I had to find another way to do it, and that's when I teamed up with $10 tees. They were over here in Alexandria somewhere. And they were able to get the job done for me. So and then once we seen that kind of niche or hole in the market for what we were doing, we just went full on with it. Just went balls deep. It was a bumpy road, man. That was end of 2010 that started happening. I think it was 2014 we had our shop in Parramatta Westfields. Lasted there better part of 5 years. Won't get into the details of why we had to leave Parramatta Westfields, but we did. And then but by that time we had Surrey Hills opening as well, so we were operating 2 stores out of there. And none of us knew anything about retail, bro. None of us knew about fashion. We were just enjoying it. It was just a roller coaster. And then, yeah, now we're here today.
So I guess as well, you guys went a little bit quiet there for a couple of years. What happened there, and what prompted you to make this kind of resurgence in the past couple of years?
Well, we were doing everything wrong. Like, we were making plenty of mistakes and not necessarily learning from them. The brand has always been strong. Our business sense wasn't so much. Something happened at the Surrey Hills shop, which prompted a police raid. Got in a little bit of trouble. I wasn't in trouble, something just happened. And then I got to the point where I was like, you know, this isn't working. We've got too much attention at the shop. I closed the store, and I was having a child at the time. My missus at the time was pregnant. So I was like, you know, I'm just gonna have an 18-month hiatus. I just need some time away from this. Bo was already focusing on Geedup supply, which is merchandise. So I was like, oh, I'm just gonna step from this, refocus. If I can come back to it, I can come back to it. If not, I've got a child coming. I'm gonna worry about. Harper came along and bro, just refocused. I just missed it. I just missed it in my bones. So I just came back to it and completely changed the business model. No more packing orders out the back of the shop. No more focusing on what we're not good at. So I've outsourced absolutely everything. All our logistics, all our marketing, in the paid marketing in the sense, paid advertising and stuff like that. And now we just do what we're good at, and that's just design and content. So that's been a massive part of the growth, I think, as well. And as well, just coming back down to ground zero, the consumer, putting my face to it, engaging with the consumer day in, day out, complete transparency with design process, complete transparency with, you know, just everything that happens on a day-to-day basis. It's just made it reiterated to the consumer how much of a family it really is. Do you know what I mean? And now we're here with like 500% growth over the last 18 months.
There were some good times in that Surrey store, but
oh yeah.
If
those walls could talk. Yeah, I remember Freddie Gibbs was in there, and I've never seen someone smoke so much pot or so much weed in the space of an hour and a half. I would have been comatose. I think I was comatose just from being in the room.
Secondhand smoke.
Yeah, secondhand smoke, and the Hennessy that was getting drunk. Good on him if he can do it.
Looking back on those times, it's like, you know, the Kid Leroy and stuff like that dropping by. It's just like crazy to think, you know, fast forward a couple of years and everything's just blown up.
Just blown up. I think there was no better time for us to be behind the scene. Well, not behind the scene, but a part of the scene. You know, we've always kind of been a part of the hip hop scene, I guess, but back 6, 7, 8 years ago, there was not much of a scene. Do you know what I mean? We were rubbing shoulders with Jimmy Nice and shit like that, and they were kind of, you know, they laid down the foundations back then. Or even before that, you know, you had Bliss and Nesso and Hilltop Hoods and Brad Strutt. But there wasn't anything really blowing up. And then this has all just happened, bro. It's just, we all just come hand in hand with each other now. I remember Kid Leroy coming through. I remember that. He was 14 or something, rapping in the stores. Like, fuck, this kid's talented, man.
It's like, who is this guy again?
Yeah, I'm like, who is he? Ricky's like, oh, is this his young guy Glebe? I was like, fuck yeah, bro. Bo had a video of him freestyling in the fucking passenger seat of Ricky's car. And I just watched it over and over and over again. And then what was that first track he came out with?
Blessings?
Blessings? Yeah. I was like, this little kid's a vibe, bro. And then, yeah, well, we all know what happened there.
Here we are.
Here we are.
And I guess one of the big changes that happened to the brand, like you were saying just then, you became a much more public face for it. Yeah. So what prompted that move to kind of put yourself out there so much and become, you know, a much more public ambassador for the brand in a sense?
We always had the idea of it back in the day, and I was never, as you can see, I was never camera shy back then, but I had my own personal reasons as to why I didn't want to be in the public eye. So it was the idea of that was, it's nothing new, do you know what I mean? Made some huge life decisions and life changes where I felt I was able to get back into the public eye, you know, and tell the story. And I feel like the way I come up is very, very similar to how a lot of other kids come up in the West. And I don't hide that, bro. I'm not trying to be polished. Do you know what I mean? So by doing that, I think it allowed people to just connect further with the brand and what I stand for, the knockabout kids in its own sense. So yeah, the idea of coming out and being my own brand ambassador was nothing new, but it just, the time was right. The timing was right, yeah.
And the walk and talks as well, that must be, one of the simplest but one of the most effective marketing tools to kind of, speak to your consumer base so directly. So did the response to that kind of, blow you out of the water a little bit? Because it seems like every single time you do one, which is like every week or something.
Yeah, we try and
there's like hundreds of people just asking questions.
There's a bit of method to the madness as well. Like originally it just came about because I lost my license for too long. And when I had the office over in Marrickville, I used to walk home and it was just a boring walk. And it started with then, and I just used to leave it as ask me a question. And then I just walk and talk. I think that it just rolled off my tongue one day. I was answering a question. I was like, that fucking has a ring to it. Someone just call it the walk and talk now. And every time I walked home, I would just communicate with the consumer or the audience that way. And it just snowballed, bro. And then I started using it, in a sense of like, 100% marketing, because whenever I had new product coming out, I'd wear it in a walk and talk. And I'd do 2 a week. And they would go we'd do like, at first it was only like 50 questions, but now there's like over 1,000 questions that come in on them.
Yes.
And I was like, I can't answer all this. I mean, a lot of them are about like, when's you release this, when's you release that. So you've got to kind of cipher through them and see what is laughable, what's informative, insightful. But yeah, it's fun as well, man. I love talking shit with them. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's just like one big congregation in a room, but you're not in a room. You know what I mean? Everyone's watching, everyone's listening, everyone's throwing out questions. So it's like a weekly meeting with the consumer, really. Yeah.
My favorite walk and talk moment was, you put up Ask Me Anything on Instagram, and there's someone sending a question, what are your thoughts on Asians?
And they're stab happy.
Very general question to ask.
I remember that clearly. That question.
Yeah, I remember your face, you were just like, oh, yeah, I know a couple.
Yeah, I know a couple. I mean, they're good guys, stab happy, but I remember that. We do get random questions like that, man, all the time, and I'd feel like if I just screen them, it takes the fun away from it sometimes.
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes people ask those sort of questions, they're not serious whatsoever. So I answer them in not such a serious sense.
Any of them been too crazy to answer?
I'm not crazy, but asking questions that I'm not going to answer it to the public, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I try to answer them if I can kind of sidestep it, I'll answer it in its almost with another question, I guess.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Yeah. I'm not too direct with the stuff I don't want to answer, but I don't always screen them. Yeah, no. Oh, actually, there's been a few that have, do you know what's been the scariest moment? Where people have asked questions and I'm like, how the fuck do you even know that? And then I'll kind of look at the profile, I'm like, you got no followers, you got no...
Ghost account.
Yeah, I see you.
They're onto you.
Yeah.
And speaking of personality-driven brands, another one we have to mention is obviously Gucci Smoothie and StreetX.
Yeah.
So there's a bit of social media skirmish here and there. I think right now we need to do an official call out right now to Gucci Smoothie. Like, what's going on?
Look, there is absolutely no hate between me and Dan. I love the guy. He actually started our brands around the same time. I've watched his growth, and I'm sure he's watched mine. But Dan, like, there's not a serious moment with the man, do you know what I mean? So we're just having fun with each other and the two brands. I guess he's West Coast, we're East Coast. So it just seems right to just throw shade at each other all the time, do you know what I mean? The consumer likes it, they laugh about it. I would love to punch him in the head sometimes, just out of fun. And I will, one day.
The funny thing about that is, even when we do shit, when we go over to Perth, we always instigate stuff for Gucci Smoothie and StreetX as well. But some fans take it serious, man.
Take it very serious,
his inbox
bro.
got bombarded being like, Triple One are gonna bash the fuck out of you. And we're like, no, we're not.
Bro, so many people take it seriously. Like, again, back to the walk talks, everyone's like, what's the beef with StreetX? What's the beef with StreetX? And I'll address it, I'm like, there is none. And I just don't think they believe it, do you know what I mean? Because whenever I get on there and rag Gucci or rag StreetX, it's in a very serious manner. But it's not, man. It's all in good fun. And you might want to edit this out. You might not want to edit it out. But we do have a big collaboration coming through StreetX autumn winter 2021. So there's no hate, bro. It's all love. But if he does want to punch on, I'll gladly punch on with him. And I'm bringing weapons.
But the collaboration is when the hatchet will finally be buried and...
Probably not. No, we'll probably still go right on with it. You know what I mean? But the whole takeover season was like just to rear that fire back up. I got a few boys over in Perth, hung the big sign over the front of his shop, and videoed that. I think that was very unexpected by them. I'm still waiting for their return move. I'm still, you know, I was hoping of a game of chess, not checkers, but it seems to be checkers at the moment because they're not responding. So take your shot, man.
And you're speaking before about the music alignment that Geedup has always had, you know, like Spit Syndicate and Thundamentals back in the day. And obviously now it's reached a whole nother level with Hefs and those boys. So did you grow up with them, or how did that alignment first happen?
Well, Hugo, Sam, Hef's brother, Sam, was right into his urbex. I hope he doesn't mind me talking about this, but I will. Urbex. So like he was climbing, scaling buildings and taking photos from the rooftop and shit like that. And he used to come into the Parramatta store as a kid. And you know, he used to take some product and do some photos and stuff like that. So yeah, we knew of each other well before. I think Hef's only might have had one track out, do you know what I mean? And then Hefs did a bit of a bid, he went away for that period there. And the day he came back out, they both come along to the Surrey Hills store. And I had a conversation with Hefs. I just said, bro, you've got too much talent to go to waste, man. You're going back inside. The big house is not for anyone anymore. It's not cool, do you know what I mean? And he knew it wasn't cool. But I said to him, you've got too much talent, focus on your music, do you know what I mean? But the relationship was well before any of that, yeah. Like I said before, man, but in the West, if you're a stand-up guy in the West and you know, like you got a good name, you know of each other, do you know what I mean? No one's a real stranger. So, yeah, all those relationships that we've cultivated today happened very organically just from adolescent years, teenage years. I'm obviously older than those boys, but I remember Hefs dropping that track, you're not from, oh fuck, over now it goes, who are you, you're not from the area. And I remember just watching that, I'm like, this little fucker, shit cunt. And then, you know, like I already knew the face, because they was always supporting the brand, and then, like I said, man, that just happened organically. And then, you know, Hefs, I met Masi through Hefs. Masi already knew a few boys that I knew in jail, a few of my mates. So they all happened very organically with the people we already rubbed shoulders with. And I think that's the biggest strength of those relationships as well. I won't align the brand with just someone that hits me with an inbox and you've got 200,000 followers, let's collaborate. No, man. I'm not about that. And I think that's what the strongest part of our relationship with people we are aligned with now is just because it's all very organic. And there's years of history.
And speaking about Hefs, on top of making clothes, you did make a cameo in the Rover remix video. Will we be seeing more cameos from you in the future? Or?
Man, I don't know about that. I was so hungover, sweaty, and I wasn't even meant to be in it. They just needed to use the Range Rover. And Ziggy rang me, he's like, bro, what are you doing? I was like, man, I feel like I've been hit by a bus. He's like, can we use your Range Rover? I was like, what for? He goes, we're doing the Rover remix today. I was like, fuck. Yeah, right, sweet, I'll be out there. And then, man, I was just like, get in front of the camera. I was like, all right. All right, man.
You got coaxed into it in the end?
Got coaxed into it in the end, and then, yeah, that turned into a party. But, I don't know, man, maybe. I made a little cameo in Masi's film clip as well with the Bentley. But, as you all know, there's a bit of heat around some certain artists at the moment, so I've consciously stepped from putting my face to camera in film clips for the time being. Free the bro, not guilty. I'll leave that there.
That was an unexpected promo too when he was wearing the Geedup shirt and he was on the Channel 9 News and stuff like that.
Yeah. Unexpected. All promo is good promo in its own sense, but some heat come from that. My house got raided, office got raided. But it is what it is, man.
It is what it is. And I believe you have something coming up with Mitchos, which has been in the works for a while.
Quite a while, yeah. We were meant to release that collaboration spring, but it's a heavier piece and Sydney weather just wasn't too kind for us. I was worried about it hitting the web store and sitting. I mean, we always sell out, everything always sells out, but I just really wanted the first collaboration between us and Mitch was to just go out with a bang and not be too influenced by the weather, and it would have been. So we're holding on to that until autumn winter 2021.
Any other rapper collaborations in the works, or?
Yeah.
Any you want to disclose now? Or?
Not yet. Not yet.
Not now.
No, not yet. Not yet. Just because they're not confirmed, you know what I mean? So I don't want to, the inbox will just be flooded, man. And Benny is way too busy to be answering questions that he hasn't got the answers to right now.
Is he? I saw him sleeping yesterday on Instagram.
Mate, the kid loves to sleep. He has this 3 p.m. thing where like he just thinks it's cool, thinks it's sweet to just go lay in the love sack of the office and go to sleep. And I've had that many conversations with him, like, mate, no, it's not daycare. This isn't kindergarten. We don't have 3 p.m. sleeps. But he still does it. I'll let him go. He works after hours for me, so I can't drill him too much. But he got pissed off yesterday. I threw a vape at him and then showed him his chin. Got up and threw it straight back at me. Hit me square in the fucking shin just there. So I'll send him home. Send him home for his afternoon sleep.
He's all right now, but
yeah, he's all right now. Yeah.
And you mentioned just then that all the Geedup collections, you know, they sell out and they sell out quick.
Yeah.
So I guess from a brand perspective or someone who runs a brand, how do you keep that balance between, I guess, the temptation of just putting out, you know, 100 more, or just keeping stuff exclusive? Like, what's your take on that? I
just witnessed brands blow up and then just fall face first with exponential growth. And look, bro, I could probably go produce 1,000, 2,000 pieces per style and have it sell out in a week. Make a huge amount of money, and then it's too readily accessible. The exclusivity of it just completely diluted. So gradual growth, you know, we started off with just 100 pieces per style, and that was selling out within the hour. So we've bumped it up a little bit, but 200 pieces, 250 max, we've bumped it up to. So instead of pushing those items up to a 500 piece or 1,000 pieces, I've just increased my workload with the design. So I'd rather it sell out within the week and I have to release something new, do you know what I mean? Just so there's not too much of the one piece out there and people still want it because not everyone has it. It's not easy, bro, but if I want longevity and if I want people to feel like they've got an exclusive piece or they hold some type of importance by having that piece, then I need to respect that as well. You know, I can't lie to them and be like, there's only 200 pieces and then there's 1,000 and then you'll see it's Sydney what.
Can't you?
I mean, well, I can, but I won't. Yeah.
And I guess before you were talking about the lifestyle element of Geedup, and we spoke about the personality-driven aspect of the brand. So for people starting brands nowadays, what do you think is, or how do you think they should split their time or their energy into the brand in terms of the actual aesthetics and the actual designs and stuff like that, with branding and marketing and stuff like that? How should it be split?
Look, people ask me this all the time, and you know what? If I could give someone the blueprint, I would, bro. But I didn't take any notes over the last 10 years. It was just one big fucking freestyle. And we finally fine-tuned it in the sense that it's working for us. All I know is what works for us. I don't think you can replicate anyone's approach to a brand and expect it to work in the same sense. But design is obviously a huge factor. Quality is even bigger, do you know what I mean? Something doesn't have to be a crazy standout piece. Just as long as it lasts, it doesn't fall apart, and the quality's great, and the craftsmanship's great. Gone are the days of starting a brand and approaching massive wholesale accounts or looking to have, you know, a wholesale list of 10, 20, 30 stores. E-commerce has completely changed now because of Instagram and because of Facebook. You can sell straight to your consumer. So I don't know, if I could give anyone advice coming into this industry now, is to just follow the footsteps follow the path that we kind of took. You know, every brand needs a sense of belonging, and every brand should have a story, and that story doesn't need to be an extravagant one, but just be transparent with it, and engage with your consumer. They're the biggest part of your brand. Without a brand, you just have a t-shirt, don't you? You know what I mean? So yeah, that's all I could say really. If you're looking to come into the industry, there's no magic to it. Just do it, find a way, and learn from your mistakes really. But I don't think there's a blueprint that anyone can stick to and make it work. Do you know what I mean? There's a roundabout way, like I just explained.
I feel like music and clothing, it's the same. When you've been in it for 10 years, you know, both of us, it's kind of like you realize that nobody actually knows what the fuck they're doing.
Spot on, 100%. It's just one big freestyle. Yeah. That didn't work, that worked. Let's do that again. Let's replicate that. Let's fine tune it. And then, you know, yeah, like there's no manual. There's no 10-step process to become successful in any industry, I don't think. Especially music and fashion. The way it stands now, do you know what I mean? But again, with music, like so many of these, like Hefs, he's independent. He's not, you know, he's not looking to go anywhere else because he's got the platforms there. Do you know what I mean? Gone are the days where you needed a record label to get on the radio. Gone are the days that you needed wholesale accounts in fashion to be recognised. Do you know what I mean? You've got the world stage with social media. Make enough noise, bro, and everyone's going to see you. Make enough noise and everyone will see and everyone will look.
And Geedup's been around for 10 years, like we said before. So in that time, what are some of the clothing trends that you've seen that you hated, and what do you think should come back?
I've never really hated any of the trends. We've never really followed trends, and you can probably see that over the years, do you know what I mean? I know a lot of the trend at the moment is a lot of sportswear influenced stuff, and we, you know, in our own sense, we are influenced by that, but colour palettes and stuff like that, we don't really follow those trends. So I've never really looked at other fashion trends because I've just always looked at my own brand. So I've kind of been like I've been tunnel vision for like the last 10 years in that sense. But those big fucking baggy jeans, bro, I was never about that, man. You remember back in the day, like baggy fucking jeans?
Size 36 waist, no matter how skinny you are.
Yeah, you can see it like looped over. You got the belt. Like, yeah, I never got that. I was just never into that, man. But other than that, there was no trend that stood out to me. I was like, fuck, I hate seeing that. Except for that, I've always dressed well and dressed in the sense, like I used to hate seeing jeans come over the top of shoes and just like all ripped up at the back. I feel like they look a bit bummy, you know what I mean?
That was the look for a while though.
That was the look for a while. So yeah, I guess I could say I hated that. But other than that, bro, I've always just worn my shit fitted. The brand's always been fitted. You wear it well, you know what I mean? Nothing's really oversized. Nothing's too small. So I never gave any other trend any attention. I just focused on my own shit.
What are you hoping will come back? Anything?
No, not really, man. Like, I think the best thing about owning a brand is you can just take it wherever you want. You don't have to, well, for our brand, I don't have to wait for a trend to come back. I'm not looking for anything to come back. If I want to take it that way, I'll take it that way. And we've carved out that niche, and that's one of our biggest strengths of the brand. You know what I mean? If it looks good and you wear it well, our consumer wears it. Do you know what I mean? We're kind of nomads in that sense.
Can you do a Geedup blazer?
Yeah, a few I can.
Just one-on-one.
I'll do that, one of one.
Fitted cap with the shiny sticker on it on the top.
Yeah, let's do that. We'll just do a 24 karat Kev sticker smack bang. Actually, we should just embroider it.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, the sticker?
Yeah.
Yeah, never be taken off.
Never be taken off. And then we'll cut the top of it out so it's a visor.
100%. I'm with it.
It's done.
And you spoke about the sportswear aesthetic that, Geedup relies on quite heavily, I think. So I guess growing up in the West, that's definitely something that probably influenced, that direction of that brand in that sense. So from a business perspective, how do you think growing up in the West influenced your approach to Geedup?
Oh, in every sense, bro. Like, grit is just it's in you from being out West. You know what I mean? You just got this. Nearly everyone I know from the West, nearly everyone from my circle of friends, they've just got this real go-getter about them. Do you know what I mean? So the West business, in the business sense, didn't educate me in business, but it just gave you the balls and backbone to just go at it. Do you know what I mean? Fashion sense, bro. All your old school Nordica and Polo and Gant heavily influenced me as well. But as I grew a little bit older, I fell in love with the brand Crooks and Castles and what they were doing. So then we almost had this merger of two ideas, and you can see that in the stuff we do now. But there's almost two factions to the brand where it's the Geedup Sportsman logo, which is all very sports orientated and like sports fabrics and stuff like that. But the Geedup core logo stuff, the Tigo's got the jumper on now, is a lot more streetwear. Do you know what I mean? It's your hoodies, it's your You know, it's your heavy cotton canvas pants and cargo pants and shorts in that sense. So there's almost two parts to the brand now to cater to the two audiences. Monday to Friday, I'm in the more sportier sort of stuff. Over the weekend, you'll catch me in jeans and a hoodie, you know what I mean, with a pair of chucks on or something. Do you know what I mean?
Not baggy ones, but.
Not baggy ones, no. Nah, no way. Not happening. Nah.
Eventually.
Imagine a pair of baggy jeans with chucks on, you lose the shoe.
Yeah.
Unless you cut it to the ankle like a lot of guys are doing at the moment.
3/4 pants, maybe they'll come back.
Yeah, no. No, it's...
You do hate shit.
I do hate shit.
You need to get it out of you.
Yeah. So I actually do hate them. I've just pushed it to the side and I don't think about it.
And Geedup is definitely what I would consider, at this point, a kind of cult brand.
Yeah.
So when do you think as a brand you reach that milestone? Obviously it's different for every brand, but for you guys, when do you think that happened?
When people started tattooing the logo on them, I was just like, fuck. I have the logos tattooed all over me, but it's mine, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So of course I would. But when kids started doing that, I was just like, bro, what the fuck have we created? Do you know what I mean? That kind of shines some light on like what it is for them. I was like, wow, these are die-hard kids. So I was like, I've got to start giving back to the kids that do this. So that's what we put out a lifetime 50% off code, accustomed to that person if they went and got the logo. Well, I really started something then. People just had no qualms with going to get the logo tattooed on. Some guy's got play for keeps across his neck. I've got cool logos on hands. Another guy's got it straight across his knee where Benny's got his. I think there's 60 or 70 people with the logo tattooed on them now, and that's when I realised, okay, we're going nowhere for a long time. Do you know what I mean? Like, because those tattoos are not going anywhere, and that's love. Do you know what I mean? That's love. That's real love for something. So that's when I realised, like, yeah, we're very much a cult brand, man. This is very an occult following.
Do they get a high discount if it's from here up or on the hands, or is there different discounts? Different tiers?
You know how it started? It started on a walk and talk. I was just blown away by this message, and I was like, fuck it. You know what? Anyone that's got the Geedup tattoo on them, 50% off. And I was hyped. Do you know what I mean? I was like, 50% off. Fuck. What happened 10 days after that? I was like, shit, Benny. Fuck, what are we gonna do? He's like, we've got to give it to him. So I think there's 60. I think the last time we looked, 64 or something discount codes up there, lifetime discount codes out there at 50% off. And then we started getting some things come in, and they were just like tiny little ones. I was like, bro, come on, man, you're just doing this for a discount now.
Yeah.
So then they'll come back and like, is this worthy enough? And someone there dead said got big play for keeps. We actually own that as well. That's trademarked and patented. So it's definitely much a part of the brand. And it was never about the play for keeps or any of the slogans, but we had to give it to him, bro. Yeah. Straight across the throat. It's a big commitment.
Yeah. Would have been rude not to.
Yeah, it'd be rude not to. But yeah, back to your question. I think that's where I was like, wow, this is something else. And then on top of that, when we did the 10-year anniversary jacket, that didn't even go out to the public. I siphoned through the consumer database to see who had spent. I won't tell you how much the amount was, but it was up there. It was a big spend. And there was about 140 people in that list, which is the VIP list. So I just sent them a very personalised email, gave them the option to purchase the 10-year anniversary jacket, and that sold out at $500. And I say $500, like I was taken away by that. The quality was definitely there. It was, it was 100% duck down goose feather, goose duck down. Great quality product, and a lot of thought went into us. And we did this certificate that was stamped and signed, and 1 of 100 authenticity certificate. And so to even further the conviction of being a cult brand, when that sold out, I was like, yeah, this is crazy.
And another walk and talk question I saw a couple of weeks ago, someone was asking if you ever branched into footwear. I don't remember what your answer was, but I imagine clothing is one realm.
Yeah.
And footwear's a whole.
Oh, it's a whole new. Yeah. Look, I would never. Not out of fear, but just out of how long the process would take, and I just don't have the time personally to design a shoe from scratch. And people don't really know what goes into what has to go into like your own mold when you do that type of thing. I definitely collaborate with a shoe brand, and we're in talks with a collaboration with a shoe brand. I
Don't
won't
disclose
disclose anything just yet, because it's just gonna cause a whirlwind of comments and questions. But we definitely are in talks with a brand for a shoe collaboration. But it's not an industry I want to get into and start releasing seasonally shoes or anything like that. No. It just seems right to collaborate with the shoe brand. We might leave it there. We might do one in a couple of years again.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And we're approaching the end of the year now, obviously. So, what does Paco Geedup want for Christmas this year?
What do I want for Christmas?
Yeah.
Fuck. Can I tell the camera?
Yeah.
Yeah? No, I won't go there. I've got a child. I just want a holiday, man. I just want a holiday, a couple of weeks off, 3 weeks off, somewhere quiet, somewhere without my phone, somewhere without my laptop, and my daughter. That's all I'm looking for, man. It's been a fucking crazy year this year. Crazy year. That's all I want for Christmas, man. I've got pretty much everything else.
No vacation walk and talks. Just
Nah,
no fun.
leave me alone. Leave me alone. Yeah. I don't want any photos in public. I don't want anything on my Instagram. Just disappear for a bit, man. That's what I'm looking forward to.
And what's on the cards for Geedup in 2021?
Do what we usually do, better than what we usually does, I guess. Next year, we are looking to open, like I've explained way at the start of this, we use a third-person logistics company for all our dispatch. We've got a huge amount of growth happening in NZ. The biggest hurdle at the moment is the weight on international shipping. So next year, we're looking to open a 3PL in NZ, so we can offer same-day delivery, next-day delivery, and all that express services, which will hopefully bring, again, exponential growth over there. They're screaming for it. So that's our biggest move in 21, man. Other than that, just keep selling collections out, keep bringing the fucking heat, keep the foot on the neck of this scene. Retain the crown.
Shout out New Zealand.
Shout out New Zealand.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate it.
Thanks, brother.
Legend.